Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Tonight's movie, Amateur, another Netflix film. Keep going back there and keep picking out bad movies, so let's hope I went a different direction instead of a drama or something like that. This is a sports related movie, which I guess is still a drama, not necessarily a comedy, but anyway, it's about a young star who's struggling in his personal life in the pursuit of his dreams of probably becoming an NBA basketball player. I don't know. We'll check it out. We'll see what it's all about. IMDb 5.9, not great. The only actors that I recognize as I look at IMDb, Brian White, seen him in a couple of different things, and then Josh Charles. So Josh Charles, a pretty well-known actor. I think his TV show was News Radio that brought him out, but I know him from a movie from way back in the day called Crossing the Bridge. My sister introduced me to. Excellent movie about friends. I know this is a sidebar, but if you want to check it out, he's in that. David Schwimmer, is that how you say him? The guy from Friends, Ross from Friends is in it, and one of the Baldwin brothers is in it as well. Good movie, but that's where I recognize him from, so I always think back to that time. Not anything about that. He plays the coach in this movie, so I'll get into it a little bit, see if it's any good, and let's just hope, fingers crossed, we find a little diamond in the rough, because we've been striking out lately, right? But maybe you're interested in seeing this and you need to know, so stick around. I'll check in, let you know how it's going. I'll be back. Hey everybody, quick and early check-in here. We're watching Amateur, and we're at the 36-minute, 13-second mark. There's still an hour left, but I wanted to give you a better idea of the plot. So he's 14-year-old, 8th grader, I think, who has, I'm sorry, I can't remember the medical term, but he has problem reading numbers, and it's very interesting. In the beginning, when he sits in the class and they're doing whatever probability stuff on the board, and the guy's writing the numbers, and I'm looking at it, and the numbers are changing, like he's saying 1800, and it changes. And I was like, oh, 179. I guess he rounded it out, and I'm like, then it changes again. It was so weird. It threw me off. It took me a second to realize this is what this kid deals with, and there's a medical term for it. I'm sorry I didn't get that for you, but he can't read numbers. They change on him. He can read and everything like that. It's just really a numbers thing. So he struggles with that, but he's an excellent basketball player, and he's playing for school, and I believe he's playing for the high school. He's that good, but the high school is not that good. So the coach that I talked about earlier comes and recruits him. His dad gets involved and has him go to this other school where he goes to grade school, 8th grade, supposedly, and then he plays for the team. The team seems more like a traveling team than they do an actual high school team. I'm not sure. I don't think that really matters. But the point of it being, it's kind of like that Blue Chips, if you saw Blue Chips the movie or anything like that, the program. I know I'm dating myself with these movies, but these movies where they're trying to get kids to play sports and grades and academics are secondary. So it starts off immediately. He's missing his first class, so he's not going to make it there because he has basketball practice. They say that's not a big deal. Then the other kids say, don't worry about going to class. You just turn in the papers and take the test, and coach will take care of it. So you got all that going on right now. And again, he's 14 with a learning disability. And so he's got that part of it. And now we've just been introduced to one of the guys, like the friend of the team, got him an iPhone. So, you know, all of that. Again, it's just for high school basketball. I'm hoping that someday he'll make it to college, but you know, in the college ranks, that's all illegal. So that's what the story's about. So far, so good. We'll see where it goes from here. Hopefully, it changes a little bit so it's not so predictable like we've seen in all the other movies. But I wanted to get you a better idea of the plot. And I'll keep watching it here and check in again probably before the credits and let you know if anything has changed and what's going on. So stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Amateur, a Netflix film. You know how Netflix is really not at the credits, but who cares? So more about the film. As I mentioned, he has that learning disability where numbers get all kinds of crazy. It does start to cause him problems, you know, when the shot clock's going down and things like that, learning plays. But what was interesting is he always tried and found ways to go around his learning disability. never really learned how to overcome them. I don't know if it was possible, but he learned tricks to make sure that these kinds of things didn't happen. I thought that was pretty interesting. But as I mentioned earlier, it's really more about the recruiting and the bribing, I guess, or whatever it is, the recruiting violations, all that kind of stuff that is happening to him as an 8th grader just to play high school basketball. You normally see that in a lot of college stuff, but this is brought down a level. And you think about, like, he's trying to move forward, get a scholarship into college, and eventually make the NBA. But if you get caught in recruiting violations, accepting payment and stuff like that, you lose, your eligibility as an amateur. And that's why they're calling it amateur, because if he gets caught any of this stuff, he can no longer play basketball. And he's only 14 years old, so imagine that could happen, and all this stuff is happening and going on around him. I thought another interesting part, Josh Charles, who I had mentioned, he's playing the coach. He's kind of open about it. I mean, now he's not out there telling everybody, but he's like telling his mom, it's like, look, you know what I mean? Like, to do these, if I could help people like you, because they're a struggling family, trying to make ends meet, the father's working multiple jobs just so that they can keep their house. This guy's, your kid is a great basketball player. Why not give the family a little bit of money? Because everybody else is making millions off of this stuff, but this kid can't make anything, and he drives, the crowds to come and things like that. So, interesting part there when you watch that and you see it. He's open about it. He's not hiding it, and he's saying, and how the kid's skipping class. He's like, look, this guy's gonna make millions of dollars someday in the NBA, and it's gonna be more important, that money, than the piece of paper he gets for graduating from college and things like that. But watch that and see. I'm telling you, poorly. It comes off a lot better in the movie. So in the end, I think one other thing too. So his dad, as in most sports movies, is heavily involved in his son, and wants the best for him, but starts meddling in everything that's going on. So that adds another wrinkle to the entire movie. But all in all, I enjoyed the film. I'm probably going to give it a 7. It's a lot better than everything else that we've been seeing on Netflix. The plot line, like I said, has been out many times. Blue Chips, I mentioned a lot of those movies, and it's very similar to that, but a slightly different because it's brought down a level. And I thought it was interesting how it ends. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to spoil it for you, but you can imagine all this could come to a head at some point with everything going on with his disability and the recruiting violations, blah blah blah, onward and upward. And what happens? Is it a happy ending? Or is it, hey, don't do this kind of stuff kind of thing? Or does he ever overcome that kind of thing? I thought what they did here was interesting. So check it out. Let me know what you think. It's hard for me to talk anymore without spoiling it. I hate to do that. So this one's, if you're into sports movies, give this one a watch if you have Netflix. I think you might enjoy it. I think I've given you enough information so that it's nothing earth-shattering, but it's worth watching. I don't know if I told you my score. My score is probably a 7 on this one. So, an hour and 36 minutes. If you're, like I said, if you're a sports fan or you're into sports movie, it's worth a watch. So, check it out. Let me know what you think. Love to hear your comments. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.